the recording is just my screen, so feel free to have your camera on or off, whatever works best for you. So this is a grounding practice, a practice that will allow us to nurture ourselves right where we're at and stimulate our digestion through some twisting postures. We will have our movements be very slow and mindful and working with opening through the side body as well. So at the time of year of midwinter, and it is said that the New Year's is actually closer to mid-February. So this is good news if we have been feeling a little winterified, as in feeling perhaps slow in the digestion or heavy in the body or even unmotivated, and yet desiring clarity, desiring inspiration. So there's nothing wrong about the accumulation of kapha. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. It's more along the lines of this is nature and we are tending to nature. So through the lens of Ayurveda, we're aware of the fact that we are the microcosm for the macrocosm. So, what Mother Earth is up to right now, so too are we experiencing within ourselves. So, meeting ourselves right where we are at and taking a moment here to come to constructive rest. So we're going to start our practice in a reclined position. Some of you, it's early in the morning, so don't worry, we won't be reclined too long that we fall right back asleep, but just allowing for this to set the stage for feeling very grounded and supported. Constructive rest is with our knees bent, feet onto the earth. This position already sets the stage for us to be able to abide in the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, it does this by having the hip flexors, specifically the psoas, in a neutral position. You might already notice, feel, or sense a little ease through your low back. And then notice where your hands have arrived naturally. Just witnessing how you landed. And then a couple of options that you might explore, or recognizing the power of your choice throughout practice. Maybe you'd like to keep your hands or arms exactly as they are. Perhaps you could explore putting your hands onto the lower abdomen. Or sometimes in this pose, in this posture, we have one hand on our heart and one hand on our belly. And as you're landing here, arriving, releasing the events of your day so far, maybe little conversations in the morning or perhaps fragments from your dream world. And just finding a pause here. You've made that big commitment of getting on the mat, so the hardest part is done. And now we get to pause and breathe. So your eyes could be open or closed, whatever feels right in your body today. And let's take a moment to first, without changing the breath, just bring our awareness to the natural pattern of the breath. You might start to feel or sense the length and the depth of your inhale, and witness as well the extent of your exhale. And we will begin to slowly shape the breath. So as you start to shape your breath, you might start with a slightly deeper inhalation, with the option of opening your mouth as you exhale, releasing all the way out. Now, if that felt right in your body, you might do that 1 or 2 more times. Deepening your inhale. Maybe there's even a pause at the top, holding the breath for just a moment. And then open mouth, exhale. When you feel complete with that exaggerated breath, you might gently swallow to remoisten your mouth and relax your jaw. Good. Now from here, we'll use the technique of humming to again continue to bring ourselves into a very calm and grounded state. As you are ready at your own pace, at the pace that's right for you, and even the right tone that is right for you, we'll inhale all the way in and exhale with a hum. Inhaling again when you're ready. And just one more time, inviting that vibration to move through the nasal passages, even into the space of the third eye center. As you return to a natural breath, know that you have already started to shift energy, releasing anything that may have been a little stuck in the system, whether physically, mentally, emotionally, vibrationally. And here at the beginning of our practice, we have the opportunity to set an intention. So take a moment here with a wish or a prayer for your life. And then loving wishes for those beyond our life as well. Those within our life, in our close circle, and those far beyond. Good. One more big inhale here. And exhale. Good. As you're ready, gather your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze right here, hugging your knees in, and begin with a massage, rocking from side to side. As you are rocking your body from side to side, take your time. Massaging across your back, your hips, your shoulders. At center, we'll have our hands onto our knees and begin to do some clockwise circles. Take your time with this, inviting this as a massage across your low back, tending to the area across the back of your hips, the back of your sacrum. As you change the direction of these circles, notice the pattern of your breath again. Long, slow, deep inhales. And maybe length lengthening your exhale. Good. Let's have the hands onto the knees, moving to Apanasana. With your hands on your knees, your arms are straight. This is your inhale position. And as you exhale, as you bend your arms, you're bringing your thighs into the belly. Good. Continue this pattern 3 more times. Inhale, the arms are straight, the thighs move from the belly. Exhale as you hug in, perhaps again lengthening your exhale. One more time. Full breath in. And a longer exhale. As your thighs are in towards your belly this time, take a hold of opposite hands or opposite elbows in front of your shins. Find a nice compression across your lower belly. Full inhale, the belly presses into your thighs. Full exhale, see if you might soften and relax your shoulders a little more here. And then yogi's choice, if it works okay for your neck. On your next exhale, lift your head and shoulders towards your knees. You're curling into a little ball, squeezing, massaging the internal organs, and stretching your back. Releasing your head and shoulders back down to the earth. Release your feet to the mat. With your knees still bent, step your feet a little wider apart on your mat. Let's interlace our hands under our heads, dropping elbows open wide, and begin to windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Now here again, you might find the breath awareness of a slightly longer exhale. If this arm position doesn't work for your shoulders, feel free to take your arms into a cactus position or out at shoulder height in the shape of a T. Once more from side to side, lengthening your exhale. And as you come back to center, free your hands from under your head. We'll extend our right leg up to the sky. Optional here to hold on to the back of your thigh and just take a few big circles with your ankle. Circling in the opposite direction, really getting the space of the joints to be nice and open, balanced. We'll work with the joints today in a way as if you might imagine trying to melt cocoa butter between your hands. So we'll invite in either this idea of coconut oil, cocoa butter, or even just warm oil. Good. Optional here to slide your hands a little farther up the back of this leg. Nice. When you're ready, bend your right knee into your chest. Interlace your hands in front of your shin and flatten your left leg along the mat. Now with this right knee in, you'll find 3 more full rounds of breath, continuing to lengthen your exhalation. Here again, only if it works for your neck and shoulders. On an exhale, lift your head and shoulders towards your knee, round in like you're trying to kiss that right knee, and then relax your head and shoulders back down. We'll set up for a twist. Your right arm releases open to the floor. Use your left hand to guide your leg across the midline of your body. Now, making sure that we're not going farther than we can maintain our breath capacity. Now, here in your twist, as you find the longer exhalation, you might notice that little added squeeze or wringing out at the navel center. 2 more complete breaths here. Gather your right knee back to center. Give it one more squeeze into your chest. A nice compression into that right hip. And then we'll find a full body stretch. So release your right foot down, stretch your leg out long. Bringing your arms overhead, take a moment here to circle your wrists and your ankles. A big full body stretch. And then gather both knees to your chest, wrap your arms around your legs again, and rock from side to side. Tending to the back body, releasing across your hips and shoulders. And continuing to invite that longer exhale. Good. Back at center. The feet come back down to the mat. Left leg will extend to the sky for your ankle circles. So take your time here. We are in the season where we may have an accumulation of Vata and Kapha. You can change the direction of your circles, moving the ankle all the way around. So there may be a bit of cold, rough, dry happening. Maybe our skin feels a little dry. Good. After your ankle circle, slide your hands a little farther up the back of your leg. So we're lengthening our exhale for a number of reasons, but one is that invitation to release any heaviness. Some of that building that happens when we have an accumulation of earth and water. Bend your left knee into your chest. Interlace your fingers, hugging in, and let your right leg flatten along the mat. Now staying right here, 3 more full breaths. Shoulders as relaxed as possible. Good. Here again, if it works for your neck, on your next exhale, lift your head and shoulders, rounding in towards your left knee, a little extra squeeze here. And then as you release your head and shoulders back down, you'll set up for your twist. Left arm opens out to the floor. Right hand will begin to guide your leg over the midline of your body. Take your time here, finding the breath as your most important focus. Letting the shape be determined by how complete we can keep our full inhale and our longer exhale. As you guide your left knee back to center, give it another squeeze, hugging into that hip socket. Very nice. Release your foot to the earth. Stretch everything out long again. So your legs out long, arms overhead. A really delicious full body, good morning kind of stretch. When you're ready, exhale both knees to your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze and perhaps another massage, rocking side to side. At center again, if it works, on an exhale, rounding in towards both knees. Exhale, 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 exhale. And then inhale as you release your head and shoulders back down. Take a moment in constructive rest with a pose where we began. Hands onto the lower abdomen. 3 full breaths right here. From here, we will roll to our right side. Using our arm as a pillow, you can bend your knees in a little bit here for balance. We'll take about 5 rounds of breath here. On our right side, the left nostril is on top, and we're starting to activate breathing primarily through that left nostril. which will enhance the right brain functioning. We're taking our time through our transitions, through our mindful movement, so that we can recognize that while there might be a stirring under the snow, that it is not time for us to be in full bloom. It is just time for us to be tending the soil. As you're ready, gently press yourself up to a comfortable seated position, taking just a moment as we arrive, a hand to the heart, a hand to the belly. Remembering we don't need to hurry. We're not forcing any change or any shift. Rather than being on the January 1st, New Year's, we're more along the lines of Imbolc around February 1st, or even mid-February for the Chinese New Year. Good. One more big breath here. Good. Releasing your arms down by your sides. On your next inhale, sweep both arms all the way up high to the sky. As you exhale, twist to your right. Bringing your right hand to the earth behind you. Let your left hand rest onto the right leg. Beautiful. As you're turning to look over your right shoulder, we'll stay for 3 more full breaths. Finding that very complete, maybe even longer exhale. We will reach up as we spiral back to center on a big inhale. And as you are ready, twisting to the left on your exhale. Take your time as you plant your hands for support. Find the outline of the shape. And then focusing again on that full breath in, tall spine. Full breath out. A little longer exhale. We'll return to center again on an inhale. Take your time, spiraling back around. And on your exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Beautiful. Full breath into your heart. And exhale, release. We'll release our hands down. Start to take a few circles here. So checking in with the spine, the low back, the hips. Circling around in a few ways here, stirring in one direction. And then changing the direction, moving again, just investigating low back, hips, shoulders. Wonderful. As we come back to center, tall spine here, lifting through the heart, relaxing through the shoulders. So with our twisting now, we'll invite in some space with a lateral stretch. So let your right arm reach all the way up high to the sky. And then leaning over, you might rest into the left hand, or in some bodies, maybe that left elbow is on the ground. If that feels like a lot for this winter day, take your time here, staying anchored and letting the breath expand the side body. That exhale, nice and complete. Good. Good. Let's reach up and then let that arm come all the way back down. Pause between sides. We want to digest what just happened. And then on the next inhale, left arm reaches all the way up and leaning over to the side. Again, checking in with the depth that's right for you today. Good. Nice. Take your time, make sure the neck feels okay, the jaw, relaxing the forehead. Beautiful. We'll come back up, lowering those fingers back down. We'll take a full breath here at center. Big breath in, full complete exhale. Good. Next time, let's use the arms. Sweeping your arms all the way up high to the sky. And then floating your arms all the way back down by your sides. Very nice. We'll come on to hands and knees in our tabletop position. Feel free to use a little extra padding under your knees if you would like. And as you arrive in your tabletop position, we will start to move the spine in our cat and cow. With your inhale, tilting your pelvis, sitting bones lift, heart will brighten forward, gazing forward or slightly up. Now as you exhale, arch your back towards the sky, releasing your head, looking back either towards your thighs or towards your belly button. And then continue this pattern, take your time, big inhale. And a very complete exhale. Do 3 more rounds. Opening up through the torso, through the spine, through the shoulders, hips. As you are ready, wide knee child's pose. So shifting your knees really wide apart, big toes touch. Moving your hips back towards your heels. Take a moment to walk your arms forward a bit here so you have a lot of length on the side body. And then releasing your arms and your head down to the mat. Good. Continue lengthening your exhale. On your next inhalation, transitioning up to your tabletop position. We'll move into a twist here, or thread the needle. Keeping your right hand planted. Reach your left arm all the way up to the sky. And then when you're ready, thread the needle, bringing your arm, your shoulder, and your head right on down to the mat. The right hand could stay in front of your face, letting this arm be a little kickstand. Or you might reach your right fingers towards the top of the mat, or even around your back into a bind. Good. We're here for 3 more complete breaths. That little added emphasis on a longer exhale. Reposition your right hand in front of your face if you moved it. And we'll inhale, reach the left arm all the way up to the sky again. Coming back to your tabletop position between sides, finding a downward facing dog, or if you prefer, maybe cat and cow or child's pose. Navigating based on your energy today. Just allowing a moment between sides to again have the pause to integrate. So again, we're not pushing or forcing. We're simply welcoming a little bit more space, a little better digestion. Good. Coming back to your table. We'll set up for our second side with the thread the needle. Left hand stays planted. Right arm spiral open, reaching up. Good. And then thread the needle. Bringing your arm, your shoulder, and your head down to the mat. Choose the position of your left arm that makes the most sense in your body. It could even be different from your first side. plant the left hand in front of your face. And when you're ready, inhale your right arm back up to the sky. Good. We're coming to table. And once again, option to move into downward dog, letting your spine receive this mild inversion after your twist. 2 more big breaths wherever you find yourself. As you're ready, lowering your knees back down for your tabletop position. Reach your left leg back behind you with your toes tucked under. And then we'll scoop this foot to the outside of the mat on the right side. So lifting your toes, bringing your foot over to the right side of your mat and peek over your right shoulder. Now, as you're looking back over your right shoulder, feel the opening through the left side body. Now, maybe we stay right here, or you could play with walking your left fingers forward, or even walking your left fingers a little over to the right corner of your mat. A little added, extended opening on that left side body. A little balance required there for that one. And then bringing your hand and your knee back down between sides. Let's find 3 rounds of cat and cow. Full breath all the way in. And a very complete exhale, maybe a longer exhale. 2 more times, full breath all the way in. And lengthening your exhale. Now, as we set up that second side, we'll take the right leg back, toes tucked under, pressing back. So a little calf stretch at first. And then lifting your right toes up, putting your foot over to the left side of the yoga mat. Good, beautiful. Now here again, as you're looking over your left shoulder, there's already a lot of side body opening here, expanding through the low ribs on the right side. Maybe we play with walking the right fingers forward. You could feel if this adds to the opening along even that right hip. Maybe there's space or there's a playfulness to walk the fingers to the left corner of the mat. Breathing into the side body, really inviting that opening through the sides, spaciousness. And then we'll put our hand and our knee back down, and this time we'll integrate through downward facing dog. Very nice. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up high to the sky, and then any of your little favorite movements, if you like to lift both heels and lower them, or pedal your heels alternately. Coming to a standing forward fold. Keep a generous bend in your knees as you hang over your legs for a moment here. Option to take a hold of opposite elbows in a ragdoll position. Release the weight of your head, maybe a tiny sway from side to side. Releasing the bind, we will lift halfway on an inhale. So as you press your hands into the front of your legs, reach your heart forward, big breath in, and then fold over your legs again as you exhale. We'll roll to standing. Find a little bend of your knees as you slowly roll all the way up. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And when you feel you have a nice solid footprint, go ahead and inhale, sweep your arms all the way up high to the sky. As you exhale, float your arms all the way back down. We'll do one more just like that. Big breath in. And a full breath out. Good. As you establish your mountain pose, take a look at the position of your feet. You might explore having the outside edges of your feet be parallel with the edges of your mat. If it feels like a little bit of a pigeon toe there, that is helping to find a slight inner spiral of the thighs. Good. And then lifting your toes. So we'll wake up the Padabandha, or the arches of our feet. With the toes lifted, we'll see about keeping the arches slightly lifted while we lower our toes, spreading them out across the mat. Beautiful. Do a little sway forward and back, just noticing if our weight is a little farther forward in our feet or back, and find what feels most balanced. And then a little left and right, just a little sway, tuning in. Maybe it feels like there's more weight in one foot or the other. There's a group that does Tai Chi or Qigong down on the beach. This movement feels a lot like what they look like. As you come back to what feels most like center, forward and back, side to side, let's invite a deep inhale in through the nose. And a big exhale, maybe through the mouth. Good. Now begin to engage the muscles of your legs. So you're squeezing, hugging the muscles in towards the bone. Let the kneecaps lift here. Good. And then a tiny, tiny tuck of the tail. Not so much even tucking, more of a little drop of your tailbone down. Good. We'll rotate the palms of the hands forward. Collarbones are nice and wide here. Reaching up through the crown of your head. Feel or sense the ears over your shoulders, shoulders over your hips, hips over your heels. Good. And then bringing hands to heart center, remembering your intention, your prayer, your wish for this beautiful brand new day. Good. Now we'll bend our knees quite deeply. Bend your knees enough that you can touch your fingers, letting your fingertips graze the earth. Good, beautiful. Now keep the knees bent, tone through the belly, lift your chest, lift your heart, lift your arms. You're in Utkatasana chair pose. Good. Sitting back like there's really going to be a chair back there. Send your hips back, 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 back. Exhale. Inhale, standing all the way up. Reach up, maybe look up. And then float your arms all the way down by your sides. Beautiful, very nice. We're going to do just a half sun salutation here. With your next inhale, sweep your arms all the way up high to the sky. And as you exhale, forward fold. Take your time, hinging at the hips. Release, forward fold, touch the earth. Half lift with your inhale, reaching your heart forward, flat back. Good, exhale, forward fold. Now we're building that chair again from the ground up. So bend your knees, lift your chest, lift your heart, lift your arms. Stay a moment longer in your chair pose. Exhale. And then inhale, stand all the way up, reach up, maybe even look up. And then float your arms by your sides. You're in mountain pose again. Full breath in. Full breath out. Slow and steady. We'll do 2 more of this half sun salutation. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift with your inhale, reach your heart forward. Exhale, forward fold. Chair pose, inhale. Stay in your chair pose as you exhale. Good. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach up, look up. Exhale, your arms by your side, mountain pose. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. So these slow and mindful half sun salutations are assisting us with our lymph system, helping to move any winter stagnation, allowing for all of the systems to be in optimal functioning. Good. Let's inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Take your time as you fold forward. Release your head. Half lift on your inhale. Forward fold as you exhale. Chair pose, big inhale. Lift your heart, your arms, your eyes. Stay in chair as you exhale. Inhale, stand all the way up. Reach up, look up. And exhale, your arms by your sides. Beautiful. Tadasana, mountain pose. Very nice. All right, we'll roll our shoulders one at a time. As you do one at a time, you're opening up the upper back, the thoracic spine. Getting a little extra movement in there in case our head ever gets heavy, starts to pull on the upper back. Try a little forward roll of your shoulders. Good. They're setting up for an event outside. I'm not sure if it's a wedding, but they've got some fun music going, so I feel like I'm hoochie. Good. All right, beautiful. Interlace your hands behind your back. Begin to reach your knuckles back and down as you lift up through your heart. Good. From here, bring your hands over to your left waist. And release your left ear towards your left shoulder. Long, slow, deep breaths along the right side of your neck. Good. On an inhale, lifting your head back up. As you exhale, reach your knuckles back and down. We'll bring the hands over to the right waist. And then releasing your right ear towards your right shoulder. Long, slow, deep breaths here. Patience as we wait for the side of the neck to slowly melt. Good. Stay with that longer exhale if possible. Beautiful. Inhale, bring your head back up. Exhale, reaching your knuckles back and down. And as you release that bind, keep your heart really open, lifted, and exaggerated. And step to the short end of your mat if you're not there already. We'll flow our way back down with your inhale. Reach your arms all the way up high to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Take your time. Lift up halfway on an inhale. And then plant your hands, step back to your push-up position on your exhale. Now here, knees can be up or down. Take one more full breath here, a little added bone density, good health for the bones, and then lowering knees, chest, and chin, or Chaturanga Dandasana. We'll exhale to lower. Inhale, Cobra or Upward Dog, lifting up through your heart. And then we'll press back to Child's Pose. Maybe have the knees together this time. A little rounding over the legs, giving some extra space around your kidneys. Now, if that doesn't work for your belly or your chest, you can always take your knees a little bit wider. Finding a position that's right for you and that is still very breathable for you. As you are ready, pressing yourself up, come around onto your seat. We will start off in Dandasana staff pose with the legs extended out in front. Now you might sit onto a little bit of a blanket here if that helps to support the position of your pelvis. And then depending on the length of your arm bones, maybe your hands are pressing into the earth by your hips. Good. Flex through your feet. Maybe find if your toes could spread a little wider apart. And as much as you're pressing down into your sitting bones, reach up through the crown of your head. Keeping your shoulders melting down your back. Take one more full breath here. And then first bend your right knee in towards your chest. We'll twist again here, bringing the right hand to the earth behind you and hugging the leg with your left arm. Good. Now, optional here in the twist, if it were feeling balanced, maybe you take that right hand, slide it between your belly and your thigh, and do a running of your hand from left to right, and enhancing the twist for your internal organs. Good. Now, as you look over your right shoulder, maybe positioning your gaze as if you're looking down at that right shoulder. Good. We'll take 2 more big breaths here, continuing with the awareness or intention to lengthen the exhale. Spiraling back to center on an inhale, aim to have your spine nice and tall. And then extend both legs out. Find a breath or 2 in Dandasana. So your legs are active here. You might even have your quadriceps engaged. Those kneecaps could be fairly lifted as you spread out through your toes, sitting up nice and tall. And then left leg will come in. We'll plant the left hand behind and hug this leg with the right arm. So here again, yogis, you might play with left hand reaching between the belly and the thigh and running that hand, swiping us right to left. And finding maybe a deeper expression of the twist. Gazing back towards the left shoulder. Very complete breaths here. On an inhale, coming all the way back around the center and extend out through both legs again. Taking a moment here, finding your Dandasana staff pose. And for our forward fold today, you could have your legs out straight, or you might experiment with, if it works better in your body, to have your legs with the bottom of the feet together, knees wide. You could choose that option. Either legs out straight or here in your Baddha Konasana or butterfly type shape. We'll begin to fold forward, taking the gaze down either towards the feet or towards the knees, depending on which leg position you are in. Good. Wherever you are, let's find 6 more exhales. When you are complete, inhale, slowly coming back up. We will make sure we have some space behind us to lower all the way down onto our back. Now, as you arrive, you might find another full body stretch before bringing your knees to your chest, giving yourself a squeeze, maybe a massage by rocking side to side. Releasing your feet back down to the mat for bridge pose. With your knees bent, feet are parallel, thighs stay parallel. You might use the arm position of having your arms bent, elbows in close to the sides of the body, forearms perpendicular to the earth. When you're ready, press into your feet and lift your hips. Begin to press into the back of your arms, pressing into your elbows, lifting your chest up towards your chin. And then we'll lower back down. Take your time, slowly landing again. Now we'll do 2 more times, either keeping the arms in the bent position, or if you prefer, letting your arms be flat along the mat. We'll press into the feet, lift all the way up. And then as you are ready, gently lowering your spine, letting the hips land last. On your 3rd time, if you would like to lift and stay, you could either keep your arms again in the bent position so we can really access pressing into the elbows, maybe even tucking the upper arms slightly under. Or if you like to take a bind, you could reach for opposite hands along the mat under your back. Again, thighs stay parallel here. Throat stays nice and open. Head is centered. And if you have stayed in a lifted position for a bit, when you do feel ready, release the bind, moving your arms out of the way so you can lower all the way down to the mat. We'll take a moment here in a reclined butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana. Bottom of your feet together, knees open to the sides. You could experiment with hands onto the lower belly, encouraging your diaphragmatic breathing pattern. With your relaxed inhale, you might feel or sense the abdomen gently expanding. And with your very complete exhale, feeling or sensing the belly, the abdomen relaxing back. Moving your hands to the outside of the thighs to gently help the knees to come back up. And then heel toe your feet out nice and wide on your mat. And just for a couple of breaths, let your knees drop in towards each other. And then as a form of a twist, you can let the arms release out. Keep the feet nice and wide apart on your mat. And then finding your windshield wiper of your legs all the way to the left and all the way to the right. If it works for your neck, you might slowly turn your head in the opposite direction from your legs. When you feel balanced out and complete with your windshield wipers, Gather your knees into your chest, giving yourself a squeeze again here. A little thank you for this time of tending to all of the layers in your physical body, even your mental and emotional body. Just these moments of great self-care. If you would like, you could find happy baby pose, holding on to the inside or outside edges of your feet. You could experience this pose in stillness or play with a little rocking from side to side. From here, you might take your legs straight up to the sky for a few breaths. If they don't dangle effortlessly over the hips, you can always slide your hands under the back of your hips, perhaps the palms facing down, to provide a little support so that your core doesn't have to be overly working here to receive this as a mild inversion. Feel free to stay in that legs up in the air for as long as you like, or if you're feeling ready to transition to your expression of a closing posture, maybe you decide to extend your legs out long, shifting your heels towards the corners of your mat, beginning to find the shape of Shavasana. If you would prefer to shift to a wall and finish your practice in a supported legs up the wall, or even legs up the couch, you could choose that option as well. Positioning your body, adjusting through your low back, positioning your shoulder blades, choosing the arm position that supports you best, whether that's arms resting out on the floor, hands onto the torso or abdomen, or even choosing your closing posture in a side lying pose. Take your time to find a position that will allow you to rest for at least the next minute or 10 exhales in stillness. Once you find your shape, you might utilize the invitation that the breath can give us by finding one more nice releasing exhale with a sigh. And then release all efforting, letting go of all breath control, all muscular engagement, letting the body surrender to gravity. And feel the body get heavy, supported by the earth, softening across the forehead, releasing the space of the tongue and the jaw. After your 10 rounds of breath, honoring that if you have more time, that you might stay for 10 more exhales. Whenever it is time for you to eventually begin your transition, take your time, moving slowly and mindfully. Whenever you are ready, you could begin by deepening the breath, moving fingers and toes, turning your head side to side. No hurry, no rushing. And again, if you have time to stay longer, please do. Just as at the beginning of our practice, we roll to our right side and stay 3 to 5 breaths at least, before gradually, slowly, eventually, again, no hurry, no rush, we find our way once again to an upright position, and we may even pause with the support of a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly. May you continue to gently tend to the soil, knowing that this is not the time of year to be in full bloom. These are still the days for gently tending to ourselves, finding a slow awakening, and focusing on visualizing what our gardens will eventually look like. May you continue to tend to yourself with great love and the sweetest, sweetest care. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for your practice, for your presence. Peace be with you, and namaste. All right, sweet yogis, thank you so much. See you next time. Peace be with you.